Senate committee inspects property impacted by NSAS protest, expresses shock at level of destruction. Plus, Governor Ben Ayade charges INEC to demonstrate fairness and morality in forthcoming elections. Details in just a moment. Good evening, it's nice to have you on NTA News at 7. I am Paul Abel, now the news in details. President Muhammadu Buhari has disclosed that 10 new national parks will be established as part of moves to tackle biodiversity loss. The president made the call while speaking at the hybrid high-level event tagged Transformative Actions for Nature and People on the margins of the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA 76 in New York. In a statement by the President's aide, Femi Adesina, President Buhari explained that apart from regional and inter-regional cooperation to tackle the menace, other measures include expansion of protected areas, including the establishment of 10 new national parks across the country, the creation of marine protected areas in pursuance to the 3030 agenda of the Convention of Biodiversity, CBD, and domestication of relevant international agreements, conventions as well as laws and policies for the protection and conservation of biodiversity. In a similar development, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has sent a high-powered delegation for talks with Nigeria on various aspects to improve their economy, particularly in the oil and gas resources, as well as aviation. Foreign Desk correspondent Usman Aliyu reports that the delegation met Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Oyema in New York.
Foreign Affairs Minister of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, his deputy and the country's envoy in the United Nations visited, and the bilateral talks centered on continuing agenda set up by the OPEC Secretary General Nigeria's Sanusi Barkindo on global market and value for the oil and gas resources. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama hinted the delegation about commitments by the federal government at the moment to build infrastructure for development while confronting various challenges of peace, security and stability in Nigeria and West Africa. There were also talks on review of bilateral deals on air transportation, agriculture and education, and the formation of the first Nigeria and Venezuela Joint Commission in 2022.
Lasting intervention of the CELAC meeting, which is Latin America and the Caribbean, 34 states, 34 governments, and his voice was listened, and his voice is to promote integration, promote solidarity, promote cooperation.
It keeps them going. So it's not easy, but we're facing it with a lot of determination. And of course, the sub-region, we're the big country in ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, so they look out for us and we try to maintain the peace and stability in the sub-region.
As part of the New York engagements, Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama paid a visit to the United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed. From New York, Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
Thanks, Usman. And now back to the country and Cross River State. The Senate Joint Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Defense, Police Affairs, Judiciary and Legal Matters, as part of its oversight function, has inspected locations and property devastated by the 2020 NSAS protest in Cross River State. Correspondent reports that the delegation led by its chairman, Senator Ibrahim Gugri, aims at making intervention to assist impacted states.
Upon arrival in Calabar, the Senate Joint Committee wasted no time to visit the various locations in the state still under the ruins of a result of the negative impact of the NSAS protest. The team visits some of the locations affected by the rage from protesters, which include Tinapa, Calabar International Convention Center, CICC, State Ministry of Works, Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, WHO office, among others. Inspection over and back at the governor's office. The chairman is shocked at the extent of damage caused by the protest.
It was unbelievable because we never expected that kind of destruction that we saw in that place. I was in Tinapa some years back, and I know the place. I know exactly the kind of things that you can find, because what is there is second to none in this country.
There was a deliberate strategic attack on our assets. All the strategic assets. It was a deliberate sabotage to make sure that all the factories that have built goes down. It's a very emotional thing. For us as a state, it's like we've lost a whole generation.
The committee is expected to present a report to the Senate at the end of the visit. In Calabar, Paul Abel, Nta News.
In another development, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been charged to demonstrate fairness and morality as an election umpire while executing its responsibility. Cross River State Governor Professor Ben Ayade gave the charge during the familiarization visit of the new State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Cyril Omorogbe, to the governor's office in Calabar. Correspondent once again reports.
Nigeria, since gaining independence in 1960, has been faced with several challenges but not without progress in many sectors. With that optimism of a better Nigeria, the Cross River State Governor is hopeful that the country will remain one indivisible entity come 2023 as INEC plays by the rules to boost the confidence of Nigerians while exercising their franchise.
I'm just telling Nigerians there is hope. Let's not just give up. There's really hope. Nobody will feel a sense of frustration more than myself. The unity of this country remains strong, and we must. And we must go through 2023 in peace. And that's what I preach.
The INEC REC informs the governor on the update of the CVR exercise and pleads with government for support in information dissemination to arrest voters' apathy.
I'd like to, plead with His Excellency to give us that support in reaching out to the people. Make sure we put to fear most of those voter apathy, their fears when it comes to registration. I understand, even when I was in Bayelsa, the average Nigerian nowadays will tell you, why am I registering to vote? There's nothing in there for me.
Dr. Cyril Omorogbe resumed as REC Cross River State on Monday, 28 September 2021. In Calabar, Paul Abel, Nta News.
And now to party politics. The All Progressive Congress APC has rescheduled its nationwide state congresses to Saturday, 16th October 2021. In a statement by the National Secretary, APC Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, John James Akpan-Udodege, it says that an updated timetable, schedule of activities, and guidelines for the conduct of the state congresses will be released to the public in due course. We're about to go for a commercial break now, but don't forget that you can equally watch this newscast online on our YouTube channel, YouTube/NTA Calabar. We have more stories for you. When we return, please stay with us.
As news breaks from the north, south, east, and west of Nigeria, we bring it to you. News from the length and breadth of Cross River State is sent to you via this channel.
With movers and shakers in various spheres of influence talking to us, we carve a niche and showcase our experience in broadcasting, because it's NTA Calabar before others.
You can't get this anywhere else. It's only here on NTA Calabar News, showing at these times, 3 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 7 p.m. every day. Nta Calabar News. Our experience counts.
It's good to have you back on this second segment of the news tonight. We start with stories that concern tax and tax issues. The Cross River State Anti-Tax Agency says it will not compromise its objective or collect bribe, which will create room for illegal tax collectors in the state to thrive. Chairman of the Cross River State Anti-Tax Agency, Bishop Emai Song, while interacting with newsmen in Calabar, warned illegal revenue collectors and their masters to desist from nefarious activities forthwith or face the full wrath of the law. Udwak Etim has the report.
The Cross River State Anti-Tax Agency, whose scope of operations include, among others, exemption of low-income earners as well as tricycle riders and small business owners from paying taxes. The chairman of the agency, while briefing journalists, says, in spite of the good intentions of Governor Ben Ayade to make life meaningful for this segment of the society who are struggling to earn a living, some revenue collectors have continued to exploit them. Checks by the agency has shown that these categories of people are being harassed daily by illegal tax operators, and the agency has sent a warning to them.
And want to use the medium and warn any council chairman or head of any MDA of government that they should desist from any form of nefarious and obnoxious means of making revenue for their MDAs. And we will not be bribed. We will not receive a kobo from anybody.
With the help of the judiciary, the agency hinted that it will soon set up 3 mobile courts for the purpose of prosecuting those indulging in the collection of illegal taxes in the state.
We are not intimidated by political columnists, and we are not frightened by agents of tax sherlocks and companies who continue to extort the people. We have also collaborated with the Board of Internal Revenue to give meaning to some relative words.
The agency has, however, warned council chairmen and others behind this illicit act to desist while threatening to publish names of politicians allegedly involved in this act. In Calabar, Udwak Etam, NTA News.
From tax matters now, we go back to a story that those who have hearing impairment will be interested in. Access to sign language in education, healthcare, and other public services has been recognized as critical for the promotion of human rights of persons with hearing impairment. Hence, sign language interpreters advocate the introduction of sign language in every aspect of the society to promote inclusiveness. Ifeoma Ikoje reports that this advocacy is coming as the international community marks World Sign Language Day.
The United Nations General Assembly proclaimed September 23 as International Day of Sign Language to raise public awareness of sign languages and their vital importance to fundamental human rights. Commemorating this annual observance, sign language interpreters say for the deaf community, access to their special language is key to breaking and participating in the society, just like anyone else.
They are within us, they are in our society. They are close to us. So for them to be carried along, for them to have that sense of belonging, we must be able to communicate with them.
So for this year, I want to call on all nurses, all doctors, all healthcare professionals, all Nigerians to accept and be willing to learn sign language. At least learn the basic ones.
They advocate the need to promote the rights of deaf people through access to education, healthcare, and other social services.
They could just walk into the hospital and know that they have a nurse, they have a doctor who will be able to understand them. And having that ability to just speak directly to your nurse, directly to your doctor, and know that that doctor understands you, that nurse understands you, the deaf person will feel safe, will feel secure, and can confide.
I begin to develop the interest for sign language because I see it as a means of helping others in the society. Though in our community, people think deaf and dumb, they cannot really succeed in life, but with sign language, they can go somewhere.
Everyone can work hand in hand to promote the recognition of the rights of people with hearing impairment to use sign languages in all areas of life. In Uyo, Ifoma Aihuchi, NTA News.
And now let's take a look at the COVID-19 situation around the country. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 377 new cases of coronavirus in Nigeria as at 22nd September 2021. According to the statistics, Lagos, the epicenter of the pandemic, has the highest number of 70 cases, followed by FCT Abuja with 67 cases, Kaduna 38, Edo 36, Rivers 28, Delta 23, Kwara 22, Ondo 18, and Plateau State has 17 cases. Others are Oyo 16, Benue 12, Ekiti 10, Gombe 8, Kano 7, Imo 3, while Jigawa recorded 2 cases only. The total number of confirmed cases of the virus in the country now stands at 203,081, in which 191,601 persons have been treated and discharged, while 2,666 persons have so far died of the disease. From health, we move over to the ever-exciting and busy world of sports. Youth and Sports Minister Sunday Dare defied the heavy downpour in Lagos on Wednesday to pay a visit to Africa's richest man, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, at his office. Dare's courtesy call was to show gratitude to the billionaire businessman for his massive investment in Nigerian youth, as well as in the development of sports infrastructure in the country. After the warm and friendly reception, the minister formally briefed and invited Alhaji Aliko Dangote to the forthcoming National Youth Conference scheduled to hold in Abuja next month. Described as a great investor in youth and in Africa, the Dangote business conglomerate currently employs close to 60,000 youths, with a further 70,000 to be added when the Dangote refinery begins full operations. Dangote expressed his delight at the opportunity to be part of the program that will positively engage the youth and pledged to support the conference. Apart from his investment in youth, Alhaji Aliko Dangote is also heavily involved in the development of sports infrastructure. His funding of the renovation work at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja is top on the list. About $1 million is being committed to the project that has already brought life back to the national edifice. Only last week, the president of the World Soccer Governing Body, FIFA, Gianni Infantino, while on a tour of the stadium in Abuja, applauded the state of the arena and commended the federal government for partnering with the private sector to put such a facility in place for football development in the country. And for more on sports, we are told that 6 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, are participating in the Zonal Director General NYSC Sports Competition that opens in Duse, Jigawa State, to select the best players in different games that will represent the zone at the upcoming National Youth Games. NTA Duse sports correspondent Ahmed Mohammed reports that the 3-day event will feature both sporting and cultural events to select best talent. Declaring the competition open, representative of Governor Baduru Abubakar, the State Commissioner for Information Bala Ibrahim, and the State NYSC Coordinator Aisha Adamu both describe sports as a unifying factor.
we have to encourage our youth to participate in sports. And I've always said that sports is a very huge venture that should not be left only in the hands of government, but also other philanthropists must come in to invest in sports. Investing in sports has always been investing in security. We all know what security means now, and we have to invest so that we can secure this country, we can live peacefully. It's only when we secure and live peacefully that we can have the economic prosperity that we all desire in this country. So I think sports is a very veritable tool that can be harnessed, can be used for the enhancement of unity, strengthen this country and any other country, and also foster brotherhood, and also we use sports to appreciate ourselves.
In NYSC, we have a lot of activities that we embark on. That is the social activities to make the core members to be happy and to be relaxed during their service here. It's not only primary assignments or whatever. We also incorporate all social activities for them to be relaxed and be happy within their service here.
That event is actually a great one for unity amongst youth and for national growth and development. And this event has actually taught a lot of us new things. Like me coming from the North Central Zone, I've learned the Koroso dance, and by the grace of God, I've mastered it.
It's an event that would promote unity in Nigeria, even though the issues of banditry, kidnapping and the rest and insecurity are currently disrupting the unity in the country. Events like this tend to bring us together. We've met other core members from different parts of the country.
It helps us to know places I've never been before. I've never been to Jigawa before. This is my first time, and at least the experience is something everybody should learn from it. So I think it's something nice and something good. And Mungo Day.
With that sports reports, that brings us to the end of tonight's news. Before we go, a quick look at some of the stories that have made headlines. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has sent in a high-powered delegation for talks with Nigeria on various aspects to improve their economy, particularly in the oil and gas resources, as well as aviation. The delegation met Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Oyema in New York at the ongoing United Nations General Assembly, UNGA 76. The Senate Joint Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Defense, Police Affairs, Judicial and Legal Matters, as part of its oversight function, has inspected locations and property devastated by the 2020 NSAS protest in Cross River State, as the delegation led by its chairman, Senator Ibrahim Gobi, is aimed at making intervention to assist impacted states. That is the most we can take on the news tonight. On behalf of the entire crew, I am Paul Abel. Have a wonderful night rest.